Hello and thanks for checking out ChartGuys.com. We're proud to be one of the most successful technical analysis communities online, teaching you the skills to become a more confident, effective, and informed trader. Join our community of hundreds of analysts worldwide working together to learn the charts, generate profit, and achieve financial independence. For access to daily live chart analysis and market coverage, a thriving chat community, along with dozens of hours of exclusive educational materials. We look forward to seeing you. Let's check out some charts. Hello trader friends, checking in on the broader market. So is that our top being set? The answer is we need more information. Sorry, I'm not going to make bold predictions like those videos that get tons of views because people are saying we're going to the moon or we're dumping to lower lows. That's not my style of trading because every single day we get more information that changes probabilities. And if I'm not reacting to that information, I'm a fool. So looking at SPX rather than SPY because TradingView is skewing these candles. This was not the low of yesterday, and this was not the high of today. So I'm not sure what is the deal with TradingView, but SPX is a bit more of a clear picture. The low of Monday is still holding. What I am watching for the most clarity, and what I do is just cycle through time frames and say, okay, what time frame is the most clear for me? So I know the weekly chart is very clear. We're looking for a lower high on the weekly chart, and we need signs on shorter term time frames that has been set for us to have confidence. So then I look around, I look at the daily chart, I say, okay, we're seeing a little bit of bulls slowing with their momentum, but we're still keeping higher lows. And even if we break the low Monday, is that going to be enough for me to call a weekly lower high being set? Maybe, but I like the 6-hour time frame. Let's go to SPX 500 USD for the futures chart. And on the 6-hour chart, what I would like to see for the most clarity would be a bounce overnight, with this being a left shoulder, this being our head. This would be our right neckline, the key support. This is the low of Monday of 27.23. I want to see a bounce overnight. I want to see an inability to break that high. And then if we roll over, that will be a head and shoulders. That'll be the first break of this 6-hour uptrend since the base in the 240s of SPY. And that would be a nice clear setup for me. So if we see some strength and we start tomorrow with a little bit of green, I will be watching for the potential of a lower high compared to the high of yesterday. If we start with weakness, it'll be all about the low of Monday for me. Are we above the low of Monday? Are we below it? And we'll see if that support level can hold. So that's what I am watching into tomorrow for the most clarity of the short-term situation on the S&P 500. IWM is already showing us weakness. It is well below the low of Monday. We know it's been weaker this entire bounce. We know we're looking for a weekly lower high here as well. It's more convincingly set on IWM than it is on QQQ or SPY or anything else that we're going to look at. But we're going to have to see QQQ and SPY see weakness for the whole market to be looking for that weekly lower high to be set. QQQ, daily inside bar today. So again, if we're not going to break support and get any follow through, we know the market bears are not going to get a whole lot of follow through either. So key short-term support will be 207.12. We held the low of yesterday by less than $1, 206.42. If it's a bull break, the bulls keep full control, and we'll then be looking at 219.61 resistance. And if it's a bear break, still going to be in a daily uptrend for QQQ, at least initially. And we still have Amazon and Netflix hitting their all-time highs, keeping the tech sector strong. I need to see weakness in QQQ if I'm going to call a weekly lower high in the S&P 500. XLF, further weakness, we had Bank of America, and I think Morgan Stanley and Citigroup. They came out with earnings this morning, bearish reactions. So further pullback here continues to be the QQQ holding the market up and XLF dragging the market down the last 3 days. So we're still in a daily uptrend on XLF, and anything above 1936 is a daily high or low. We are not likely to lose the daily uptrend on this pullback right now, but what we're watching for is, are we going to pull back enough so that when we form a higher low, we then anticipate a daily lower high is the most likely scenario on the bounce. Bulls have to change the hourly trend back in their favor for a daily higher low to be set. And I would say if we were to pull back down under $21, I would certainly be looking for a daily lower high to be the result of the bounce when it does happen. So working our way through financial sector earnings, and then we're going to be looking towards the tech sector earnings, and perhaps it's going to be the tech sector earnings reactions that are going to tell us, is our weekly lower high set or not? and Netflix will be the first to go. XLV holding on just fine. So healthcare and tech holding up the market. Financials dragging on the market. Support is 92.66 on XLV, keeping the little daily uptrend. No sign of any notable weakness. When's the last time we closed at the low of the day? 6 days ago. When's the last time QQQ closed at the low of the day? 6 days ago. Biotech. Still in a daily uptrend, still holding on. Not as strong as those other two, but not nearly as weak as the financial sector. So key short-term support for me will be 81.87. And pretty much everybody has to break the low of Monday. Again, it's all probability needles. Every time we get more information, the probability needle of our weekly lower high being set, let's just say right now, what's the probability of our weekly lower high being set on the S&P 500? Let's call it 38%. I have not seen nearly enough weakness for me to say that that weekly lower high has been set. If we see QQQ, XLV start to break the lows of Monday, that 38% is going to go real quick up to 60, 63%. And I'm just making those numbers up, but that's just an example of how my brain works as I am constantly factoring in new information every day to determine bigger picture scenarios. SMH, daily high or low is 122.75. Again, same thing as other names, holding on, not seeing any notable weakness at this point. Look at the low of Monday. That's a key level. If the low of Monday breaks, that's going to drop us to the lowest price that we've seen in 5 or 6 days, which would be notable. If that low of Monday holds, bulls are going to keep control on the daily time frame. TLT, weekly high or low is set. We've been saying for a week or two, very healthy weekly consolidation, bull flag set up at this point, no bear follow through. And now our weekly high or low is set at 163.48, and we're looking right back up at 170.33. If 170.33 breaks, we have a weekly higher low, higher high, and we'll be looking right back at the top of the entire move of 179.70. We would have to fail 170.33 and break 163.48 for the bears to see some significant momentum in their favor. The VIX trying to hold 36.20. Still building a level above that base. Resistance, 47.50. If we don't see 47.50 break, it means nothing to me. Just another little lower high. Just these weak little bounces. Not doing much for the bulls. Let's look at TVIX. So it didn't even change the hourly trend during regular trading hours. We went straight from the low of yesterday, higher open today, hourly consolidation into the end of the day. So no clear higher low and higher high on the hourly yet for the volatility index. And we would need to see that happen tomorrow for any bounce follow through. Gold, a little bit toppy, but holding on really well. We've been watching the dollar equilibrium. The dollar is trying to give us our daily higher low. Need a 4-hour trend change to confirm to be confident that daily higher low is set. But we're watching for it, and that's leading to a little bit of a pullback. Best case scenario for gold and silver bulls is for the dollar to break 98.27. Worst case is for the dollar to break 193. Those are the two levels we are watching, probably into next week. I don't think we're going to break this week on DXY. But gold is seeing very healthy consolidation at this point. It's a potential 12-hour bull flag still. We have a base of support with a triple bottom on the hourly at 1708 and 1709. That is the most important short-term support. If that level holds, it's a 12-hour bull flag. If that level breaks, the odds of it being a 12-hour bull flag decrease significantly unless we dip below it and then instantly bounce, which would keep the bull flag alive. But that is the base of support. Daily consolidation is hardly following through at all. And we would have to see the bears knock the price under 1700. Still looking for a daily higher low if that were to happen, but it would be more notable daily consolidation if that were to happen. Silver. So silver is seeing a bear break under the low of yesterday as well, but again, not a ton of follow through. We're just going to be looking for a daily higher low above 1486. And checking in on the XAU XAG chart, we're watching for a weekly higher low to be set. Inside bar on the weekly time frame currently, healthy consolidation considering the breakout, and I'm going to be looking for the weekly gold and silver comparison chart to give us an equilibrium and tightening range into later May. GDX. Daily consolidation underway for miners. Again, still very healthy at this point. We had an hourly equilibrium. Low of the day, high of the day. Double bottom at the low of the day. Failed to break the high of the day into the close. So a tightening hourly range. If that breaks bullish, that's a daily bull flag setting up. And if it breaks bearish, and if gold breaks that triple bottom of 1708, further daily consolidation is coming on the miners, but we will still be looking for a daily higher low on those miners that have tons of space. Oil, you could consider this a double bottom. You can be a little bit more, you can give some more wiggle room with this kind of volatility. The fact that we had a low of 1925 and a low of 1916, that's close enough in this volatile environment to call that a double bottom for now. That being said, on this bounce, we're just looking for a 4-hour lower high. And even if we get significant follow through, we're just going to be looking for a 12-hour lower high, anything under 2832. I need a 12-hour trend change off of this double bottom if I'm going to be convinced that the bulls can go on offense. They're playing defense today in reaction to the inventory report. Can they go on offense and change some of these longer term time frame trends which have not seen a bullish trend change in a while? Natural gas still fading. The bull you can never trust. 1477 support. I would expect that level to hold at least initially. If it comes into play tomorrow with the inventory report, that 4-hour RSI will be oversold. But even if we hold it, we will just be looking for a daily lower high on a bounce. That's where we stand into tomorrow. S&P 500 futures chart has to change the hourly trend for the bulls to see this 6-hour right shoulder potentially form. And that's that. Hope you have a good rest of your day. We'll see you tomorrow. So in this bed, I did transplants of kale and chard and collard greens for the first generation to be older, and those will be ready first, and then have a bit of succession planting with direct seeded coming up behind them. I'm leaving these this thick because there are flea beetles that are taking a bite out of all of them. So I sprayed neem oil all over it, which is a, what is it? Not an insecticide. It is a neurotoxin for insects. So they eat it and they forget to eat and they forget to mate, and that helps prevent from further generations continuing to eat it. And I'm leaving it this thick, so pretty much it's going to outpace being eaten, and the biggest and strongest ones that are the less eaten are the ones that I will keep, and I'll thin everything else out and have a second generation of these greens here. This kale is still going. This is kale from last year that overwintered. Got some dill sprouts coming up and some cilantro over there. This is arugula that's flowering pretty soon. I'll pull out all this arugula and make space for basil. These are some multicolored spinach, which I've never grown before, but they're certainly interesting. Bunch of lettuce, thinning that as they get bigger as well, and just eating the fairly big seedlings, but there's too many. And this is the bigger lettuce and the bigger spinach. About time to start having daily salads. Plum trees settling in nicely. I think that's going to be a good spot for it.